It's like recording's going. Everyone's getting to blast Stan with the standard "get in here, fool." We're starting. Whether or not he shows up is up to him. Moving on. Do I have everyone in here yet? I do. And Pearl is going to be absent. She's out of town. So I'm thinking we're going to have a slightly shorter session today, just so she doesn't get too far out of touch.
R.I.P.
But we're still going to play.
Yeah. The ship.
Yeah, the ship. The mighty shipping powers.
Removed.
The ship got removed?
Well, the crew did.
Oh, yeah. And then you guys got on board. You guys searched around to see if you could find the crew. They were all determined to not be alive anymore. Then that one poor little crawler walked up on deck, and then you guys swatted him.
Crawled up and immediately died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember who slapped him, but someone slapped him. I think it was Marcus. Or, as apparently has been decided, he is the rootin' tootin' shoot man.
Is it still like that?
Yeah, it's still like that. I mean, have you seen what Pearl's character is currently labeled as?
Miss not appearing in this film.
Not appearing in this film. Okay. Oh yeah, we still have the DQ flamethrower and Mr. Lightbulb the Fourth. And
Mr. Lightbulb the Fourth.
The goat, the Lord of Lightbulbs.
The goat?
Yeah, did you not notice that's what Harold's name is right now?
No, I'm looking at it.
Then we have Bugman.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys are on board the ship. You guys were searching around. I should also specify the little white bricks here are doors into like the ship. These are staircases to like go up. So like this deck and this deck over here are like raised up above this part of the deck. And then this is an elevator, or cargo elevator. So
What with the up and down arrows?
yeah, the up and down arrows are the cargo elevator to like hoist up and down cargo. So you guys can search below deck, although I imagine you technically did while looking for the crew. I don't really remember much of what happened at the end of the last session, but hey. Then again, didn't we just sort of end all of abruptly?
We ended it as soon as battle stopped.
Oh, yeah. Because you guys had figured out that the crew wasn't there and then got jumped again by the other thing, and he got jumped by you. Anyway, are you guys going to do anything to start this session off with, I suppose?
I'm going to go down and inspect the engine.
Okay. It turns out I forgot to get a map ready for this, so we're just going to roleplay. Not like we're fighting down in the engine bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you go down below decks. There is only one underground, underdeck, seeing as how the ship has only got a hull that's 10 feet tall. You know? So it's like, there's only room for one deck down there. But, you guys go down there. In the center, like where the cargo elevator would go down into, there's the, cargo hold. And then in the stern, which if I remember correctly is the back, specifically everything past this area towards the bow of the ship is the cargo hold. The very bow of the ship is where they're keeping the preserved foods, if that makes sense. And then back of the ship, past like these two S things, which I've used S's because they're basically smokestacks. They have exhaust pipes, you know, magical exhaust. That's the decision we're going with. But
Super
back
cancer.
back in here, you've got the engine, the magical apparatus, as it were. But yeah, Argon, you're able to go down there and inspect it. I will have you roll a investigation roll to see what you can find out.
Yay.
Cool. You are able to determine that the magical engine doesn't seem to have any physical damage. However, the magical runes that have been inscribed in it are currently dull and not glowing. Roll me Arcana.
Well, you think I got a +3.
Well, with that roll, you can tell the engine is currently not running.
I'm gonna call down one of the other wizard guys. Hey, engine needs investigation.
Harold comes down.
Not you, goat.
I think.
It needs magical.
You know, Harold sees this and he's like, yes.
Oh shit.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's an Arcana check. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, Harold the goat knows how to
Yeah,
get the engine to run.
He is the goat for a reason.
The goat knows how to make this engine start back up. Whether or
What
not
does
the
not
goat
work?
is going to do anything.
The goat knows. He just does not take action.
The goat knows what's up.
We're call the others and tell them that the engine is currently not working.
The goat licks the engine and that's about it. Anyone else?
I am actually gonna legitimately walk down there and see if I
Yeah.
can figure out why the engine's not working and see if I can get it working.
Oh, that was kind of funny, honestly. well then.
Well then, would I be able
So-
to say that due to me being an engineer on one of these vessels, I would get advantage on this?
Yeah,
roll?
I would let you roll with advantage.
Let's go.
Seeing as how apparently Igor and the
Investigation or
just roll Arcana, because basically at this point you've determined the engine is not turning over. You know, now you're trying to figure out how to make it magically start back up. Okay, yeah,
that's with advantage.
yeah,
So 21.
yeah, basically. But you're able to tell that the engine currently doesn't have any magic running through it. All you have to really do is, you know, expend one level 1 spell slot to get the engine running again. It's a very
Oh.
simple fix. It's just who's going to turn the engine on.
Well, seeing as how we haven't had a long rest since our last op, or
As you say that, Harold decides to twirl his horns, and a fog cloud begins to appear around the engine.
I see, so you're expending a level 1 spell slot from Harold. Okay. Well, the engine glows, and then you hear a, like, almost an electrical hum start coming from the engine as it begins to just come back to life. Yep. You're welcome.
One level 1 spell slot. That is so if I would casting no because I'm not expending the spell slot. It's innate with my character.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, even though that's second level too. Never mind.
I mean, technically a higher level spell slot would work too, but
Oh, would it quote unquote power it up more? So if we expend like a level 4 spell slot,
I haven't
is it gonna
really
go
thought about
faster?
that, but maybe just puts it into turbo. Like it puts stress on the engine or
and then
something.
we can slot it into ludicrous speed with a level 5 spell slot.
Right? And it's just like it puts extra stress on the engine or something. Oh, that'd be interesting if I just used. I could actually do that. I might just homebrew some rules for that after this session. That might be fun. I'll probably end up making use of the misfire stuff that Shaz's guns use.
Oh.
Basically the same rules. You roll a natural 1 on your shoving power into the engine, it goes kapooey. Oops. Anyway, so the engine's working now.
Slight cheer, and then I'm going to go check on the cargo area.
So, going into the cargo hold, I will have you roll investigation, I think. Okay. So, in the cargo hold, you find cargo boxes that are full of, like, cannon shots for the cannons, obviously, and then different, like, maintenance materials, metal bits and pobs, wood stuff to repair like stuff on board while it's out and about. And then as you go towards the bow of the ship, you find some packaged rations and other food utensils and mess kits, things like that. There's quite a few boxes that have been smashed up by the undead, but most of the stuff is still there. As you get to the front, though, you find there are... So, standardly, they have their water stored up in the front with the rest of the foodstuffs. But there's a problem. 2 of the 4 casks of water seems to have broken open at some point. Or been broken open, I suppose. Your water rations are down by half.
That's not
Although,
good.
I guess technically Argon's character couldn't care less, but, like, still.
I try to make note of this and then start heading back up to the wheel
Oops.
without telling anybody.
The water is not a problem.
Not telling anybody, eh? Fuck.
Anyway, he goes up to the wheel. Anyone else doing anything else in between?
No.
No?
The only thing I can do is eat everything on board.
I mean, I guess. So no one's doing anything else while Argon's searching the ship and then going up above deck. Got it.
I want to check all 3 cannons and check to see
Okay.
if they fucked anything up, or maybe
So-
during the kerfuffle of
2
the crew getting
Killed. Well, to be fair,
they weren't
both
killed.
of the cannons have fired. Well, no, one of the cannons fired. The other one got really close.
then yeah, I'm checking the cannons.
So, what would... Yeah.
What would you like, good sir?
What's the word? I almost said investigation
I
is
say
probably
that.
the easiest.
While I'm in the kitchen getting a glass of water.
A sandwich.
No, a glass of water. I need to drink my creatine.
Wait, I
Anyway.
have magic missile? Oh, I have magic missile.
I have magic missile. Wow.
That's cool.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I guess for this would be an investigation roll for you making sure the cannons are still, good,
Yeah, they're not been
damaged.
knocked out or damaged in any form of capacity, because if they have, I'm going to dismantle them and make a shotgun.
Dismantles and makes a giant shotgun.
Well, you said I have the schematics for a breach loader, and the first breach loaders past that were break action shotguns.
Fair.
I got a 6. Let's go.
Okay. I'll let you roll with advantage. These are guns you've worked with for like 5 or 6 years now.
I got an 8. Let's go.
I mean, that's better. Both of the cannons appear to be still functional. The bow one that Argon's character, or Igor, and Ashen were repairing meticulously as you guys were traveling seems to be good to fire now.
Lovely.
Yeah. The other one doesn't seem to have suffered any real damage other than a few scorch marks on the outside of the cannon.
Lovely.
Yeah. And then anything else from anyone else?
Don't think so.
Alright. I thought you said you were going to try and do something, but I guess not. Okay, so I guess Igor goes up to the helm, as he said he was going to. I really should do something with that circle. It is way too, like, not visible. What looks like a steering wheel? Sure, the snowflake. There. There's your steering wheel. A little bit more obvious now. I have no idea. Igor? Is that steering wheel a little bit more obvious with the black circle now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool.
It's the bridge, right? Up top?
Yeah, that's the steering wheel where you control the ship from.
Didn't you just have a picture of a steering wheel last time?
No, I did not. I could grab one, though. I very well could.
Wooden ship steering wheel. For sale.
For sale!
Dude, they're fucking cheap as shit. Like,
Wait, really?
Actually, yeah, they're like $500, $400.
Dang, that's
That is
actually
not
not
cheap.
terrible. For ship parts!
For what would you think they would cost?
Just don't
Okay, so
$800.
Well, it probably has
more
mechanical
modern
parts in it, too.
ones, like late sail age, the wheel itself was brass, and the handles were wood.
Huh?
Okay, here's a small one for $120.
Nice.
Small
you
one
can get-
meaning it's only 12 inches across.
You can get just wait, hold on. Am I reading this right? Walmart sells one for $80.
Is it an actual one that was on a ship?
No.
Exactly.
What the fuck do you expect?
Walmart's over here dealing in antiquities.
Ooh,
There's
actually really
there's an
cool.
Etsy shop that sells them for 18 inches for $55.
What year is this from?
Anyway, so Argon, you
Anywho.
go up to the steering wheel, and you see a steering wheel.
Ship's wheel.
Yeah, a
Called
ship's wheel. You know, you steer the ship with it, so it's still a steering wheel, right?
It is very true. It's still a steering wheel.
Any levers, like, stop, go, forward, reverse.
Not really. So this thing functions similar to a spelljammer. I want your character to roll Arcana to see if they understand how to pilot this thing,
That seems like
or if you have to use trial and error.
I do have the vehicle land specialization.
Yeah. So roll with advantage. Okay.
Jesus fuck.
Cool. So you've heard of how these things operate. It requires a spellcaster to grab hold of the wheel and then give it their what's the word? I'm drawing a blank. Not will, but it's
Intent?
something. Yeah, something like that. Basically, it goes off of your desires, I suppose. When you want the ship to go forward, it goes forward.
I shall grab the wheel and go off. We are now going to the spot now.
How fast are you immediately moving? I want to know. Do you floor it, trying to go
No,
forwards?
I do not floor it.
Dang it! I wanted everyone to roll a dex save. Dang it! That would have been hilarious,
Go start at half speed.
right?
Still going to be a sudden jolt. But not as
Everyone
bad.
immediately feels the ship start moving.
Uh-oh.
Like, as soon as he dictates the ship to move forward, they feel it. It goes.
We have learned how to use the ship.
The ship is moving.
The ship god smiles upon him.
The ship god.
You know, the ship god. Of all things naval and dating.
Right. So it does appear that okay. So at the maximum speed, this thing goes at 2 miles an hour.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That is
We can
slow
walk
as
faster than that.
I don't.
That is
Wait, hold on.
extremely slow for a naval ship.
Yeah, that's what I was literally. Well, it's not naval; it's a land ship. But I just hold on. Let me double check that I saw that correctly.
Walking speed is 3 miles an hour.
Like,
Hold
a
on, let
ship
me
should be
double
going like
check this.
14 miles an hour. That would be a like 14
Oh
knots.
no!
It's
Sorry, I
a
saw
land
that
ship,
wrong.
though.
saw
I
that
wouldn't
wrong.
call it like using
Wait, did I say that? No, that's
like you being
D&D
like
has
5
some
miles.
weird.
I'd
okay.
see that.
No, guys. I'm gonna post this in general. This I need to show you guys this. D&D has like I said it out loud and I stopped and thought about it. I was like, wait a second, that's really slow. But that comes straight from D&D apparently.
'Sailing ship.
2 miles an hour. Like, excuse me?
Huh.
That seems really slow. Now that I looked back at that and I'm like, wait a second, I couldn't have read that right? You know what? I'm gonna Google.
Sailing ship speed. Average ship speed ranges from 5 to 8 knots, with a clipper, which is a faster ship, over 10 knots.
So, we'll say 5 knots.
5 knots translates roughly to 5 miles per hour.
Okay. So its max speed, we'll say, is 5 miles an hour because why on earth is the sailing ship 2 miles an hour in D&D's stuff? I don't know. Whatever.
Experienced crews could get that up to that would be on the higher end. So an experienced crew would be 8 miles or 9 miles per hour.
Okay. Unfortunately, you guys don't have an experienced crew anymore.
No, we do not.
Well, I guess Shaz technically is, but he's one person.
Yeah, I expected this to be like galleon style, where it was like it goes roughly 7 to 14 knots depending on the sails.
I would think this would be like not a first class ship of the line, but like a maybe 5th rate or 6th rate ship of the line. But it only has 3 cannons, so it's
It
kind of
is
like
a really
hard
small
to.
ship. It would be more
Well,
like
so are those. This isn't first. Don't think first rate ship of the line when someone says ship of the line.
fair. Though I don't really know what that really translates to, but hey.
A 6th rate ship had between 20 to 28 guns per deck. So that would be
Okay.
10 guns per broadside. 10 to 14 guns per broadside.
This would be more equivalent to like anti-pirates almost, or like
Yeah, so this is a
skirmisher or
privateer
something.
ship.
Yeah,
It's,
basically.
7th rate?
I have no idea. It's
Or a
got 3
sleuth.
guns, though. Admittedly, they're a little bit more powerful than regular cannons, but like still. I'm also looking at the Wikipedia article for like galleons right now, trying to figure out how fast a galleon went on
A
average.
galleon? This isn't a galleon. A galleon
No,
is
it
a
is not.
big
But I
fucking
wanted to
ship.
know. just for reference. And I
we like a-
can't seem
They
to find it.
typically go less than 20 knots, somewhere between 7 to 15 knots.
I see how much they weigh on average. I saw that, but
A
I don't
clipper,
see-
maybe? No, a clipper is 3 sail. A
Galleons?
3-masted ship.
To be fair, this thing doesn't technically have a mast, but if you wanted to
Well, the
consider the
two
smokestacks,
smokestack.
yeah.
Yeah. 2-masted sailboat ship. A schooner. A ketch, yawl, schooner. A brig? Might be.
Oh yeah, brigandine.
A sloop.
Brigandine, yeah. Brigantine. Ah, that's right, you called them Brigantine. Brigantine speed.
Oops.
Brigantine. So, between this and a brig is a fore and aft rigged.
Yeah, it's
Schooner
definitely.
brig. It's a merge between a schooner and a brig. Is a brigantine.
I have no idea.
So the fore, yeah, the fore is full square, and then everything else is not square, except for the topmast on the aft. No, yeah,
I mean,
gaff sail. Sorry, it's called the gaff sail. Oh,
did it say how fast those ships normally went?
they are known for their speed and maneuverability.
Nice. But it doesn't say what their average
No,
speed
it did
was.
not give the average speed. It just said known for their speed and maneuverability.
Great. Okay. Cool.
They can make 4 inches, 8 knots, 8.5
8
knots
knots?
is their average speed is 8.2 knots,
Okay.
which
so,
was fast for their size.
That sounds about right for a small ship. Somewhere
So about
between
8 miles, right? If I'm doing
9, so
9 miles?
knots to mile. Oh yeah, hold on, let's do because I know it's not like 1-to-1.
it isn't 1-to-1. I knew
Knots to
that, but I don't know what the conversion is.
PH, like 1.3 or 1 point some shit, like 1.15. 8.2 knots is 9.5 miles an hour.
So we'll just go with 9 or 10. Let's just say 10.
It's on you. 9 seems a little bit hard to calculate offhand.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, you know what, 10. Nice,
That's a
easy
really-
number.
You know what? It's a magic ship. There's probably some ways that it's better than sails.
Well, it's running
Oh,
off of
and-
an
ooh.
engine, so it doesn't have to worry about the wind.
True, brigantine, water wheel.
Oh, did they have
I know-
water wheel variants?
I'm pretty sure they would. Or a water wheel ship. I know they were slower.
Oh, yeah.
The water wheel ships were slower. The steamships?
So the early steam designs, the ones that use the giant water wheels, later on they could exceed up to 30 knots, but you wouldn't typically see that. You would probably see it at closer to 9 knots, especially with the earlier ones, just so that it,
right where we are.
Yeah.
yeah, so it was like somewhere around 9 knots for the sake of it could go faster, but then the wheel would start to break down, so they gave it less RPM. So the theoretical answer is the antique ones that we're running with could probably do somewhere between 9 to 14 knots, but once you get to that higher threshold, it's going to start taking damage.
And, oh, that's cool. Brigantines usually only had an 8-cannon broadside. So,
The cannon
these
isn't too far off
big
either, I guess.
magic cannon.
It's
Okay.
4 cannons, you know?
Yeah.
It's 4 cannons in a trench suit.
Yeah.
Basically, each one's a 4 cannons in a trench shoot. Because they did have swivel deck guns that they would maneuver around.
Yeah, and that's what I
Or
was
the
picturing
bow.
these things are. They're just swivel guns, basically. They swivel around.
Hey,
So it doesn't have below deck guns.
No, they're on deck.
all we got to do.
Technically, the other one is gone. It got yeeted out of existence. The giant slapped it with a rock and it went flying.
That's cool. These ships were very, very, very common in the Med, but only in the Med.
Interesting.
Because if they went outside the Med, they'd use a brig, because it was better. And they replaced the schooners.
They replaced schooners?
Because a schooner was smaller than this, so it could go fast, but it couldn't carry a lot.
Ah, fair, yeah.
They can't, and they didn't want to use brigs, so it was basically the hull of a brig, but the masts of a schooner. So it had the best of both worlds. And then they used one to circumnavigate the globe. It's so cool.
Oh. That was the one they used to go around the world. Okay. Boat stuff. Time. We're learning
Yeah,
boat
that's
stuff.
what researching boats.
Load stuff done.
This did not. This started as D&D, and now this is boat time with Shaz.
Boat time.
Don't you love how D&D just works? So you go from, talking about how fast should I make this metaphysically, not real boat go, and then boat history. Anyway, yeah, we'll just stick with 10 miles an hour for this thing. Makes a lot more sense to be an easy number to work with, right?
All
And-
on you.
And then it is not as slow as the sailing ship that D&D apparently has. I want to know how big that sailing ship is. Is it like a sailboat? Well, it has a crew of 20 with 20 passengers. That means they can fit 40 people in there. It ain't a sailing boat. Or sailboat. It's a big ship. Well, I say big ship.
It sounds more like one of those steam vessels that have just been turned into a what's it called?
30 to 150 tons, which is fairly small.
But it is nowhere near as fast as I would expect. Actually, now that I think about it, if I go back to dungeon... Wait, hold on. What if I look up a galleon? Because I know there's stat blocks for a galleon. No, I don't want the space galleon. I want the regular one. Whatever, I guess space galleon it is. It can sail as well, so should have a sailing speed. What the heck?
Here, I'll send you. This is typically what they look like to the sail outlet.
Oh, that's what I want. Oh yeah. Technically, if I used the galleon from this, I could have, or if I had made this a galleon, I could have just used the blueprint for the galleon. Probably would have been a good idea, but I didn't do that. Now I have to figure out where the galleon was in here. Ah, here it was. It has a fly speed. It doesn't have a sailing speed, but the thing's speed is 4 miles an hour. That's really slow.
4 miles an hour? Why?
It's a galleon, too. That can fly, mind you. I know there's a galleon. There's a galley, apparently. Why does the galley have the same speed as a flipping... galleon. What the heck?
Ramming maneuvers.
I know, but like, people. Not wind. Anyway, moving on. You guys are now moving at, if he said half, 50 or 5 miles an hour. So you went from 0 to 5. No, nothing. Okay.
I think we're all on, so.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Everyone was on the ship, so. Anyone
Yeah,
want
half
to do
speed
anything once the
at
ship
5.
starts moving? No?
Sorry, I was taking a bite to eat.
No. Well, the ship started moving all of a sudden. Are you going to do
So we're
anything?
going-
Or?
Let's see here. Fucking, does Harold have the thing?
Also, you guys can now hear the treads doing the whole loud crunching sound of it moving across loose rocks and stuff. Almost like you're traveling through gravel.
So, Harold's gonna procure from underneath one of his armpits a piece of paper that details the spell of knock.
Oh my gosh.
Is there any way that he can learn said spell?
Technically, if he uses, what is it, 100 gold per spell level?
Oh God. How many things of wheat would that be? Because I think that's all he can supply.
Didn't he have, at some point, all the money?
No, he did not. He never did.
I thought you guys loaded him full of money at some point.
No,
Okay.
that was the robot.
I
So
have
I guess
no
not.
idea how much wheat he has either, so you'd have to check
has
the
a
value
single-
of the wheat.
He has a single tuft of wheat. Is that enough?
I doubt it. He's got to start picking some pockets, it sounds like.
Fuck.
Anyway,
Well, never mind then.
so he's not going to learn knock. He's too
I
broke.
guess not.
Okay. It's so funny to me that Stan is not here to hear that. Yeah, Harold stole that knock scroll from Stan's character a while back.
And no one knows about it.
Yeah, none of the PCs ever figured this out. Everyone just assumed it wasn't Harold.
No, they tried. They failed.
They did try, and then they gave up after failing once. But anyway, so are you guys just going to chillax on the boat, I guess?
Yeah. Relax, kind of get ready.
Okay.
I want to look at the, and then kind of go over the broken magical cannon, because there's 3 and one's broken.
Well, the other one was ripped loose, and is
Mm.
no longer on the ship.
Ah, fair enough.
The other one in the bow is the one that got damaged, but is still there. And then, you know, the wizard and the artificer spent the next, 2 days fixing it. Or, I don't actually know how long I said it was between, the ambush at the city and you guys getting to the temple. But hey. I'm going to say that Igor's statue is probably going to be standing, in the center here somewhere. You know what? He's on the cargo elevator. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And then the 2 dwarves are going to be up here with you. Everyone else can be wherever the heck they want. You know what? Ashen is over here looking at this cannon because bookworm man. And then Keepleet can be I don't know, hugging the smokestack? Maybe it's warm and she likes it? I don't know. Everyone else can be wherever the heck they want. I'm not your mother.
You're not?
No, as much as you wish. I can't be Taco
could've
Bell dad
sworn.
anymore either, I'm sorry.
I could have sworn.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark is
Yeah.
going to have to be your Taco Bell dad from now on.
Don't ever say that to me again. I don't like the way that sounds.
You didn't like that I told you the gay man was your daddy?
Yeah, no, I did not like that. Back up, dude.
Hey, are you my El Dorito uncle?
Oh my gosh.
Dorito Loco uncle?
I taught Mark what homosexual was a couple weeks ago, and he was dying.
Let me guess.
Gio and one of his friends that started working there were all buddy, and he was like, "Oh, they're boyfriends," and I was like, "No, it's just homosexual."
So, the ship manages to cruise along for like the rest of the day and into the night. And as night begins to set, you are faced with a conundrum. You're on a ship.
Uh-oh.
There are lanterns around this ship, right? So you can turn on the lanterns and continue through the night. But you won't be able to see like 3 feet in front of you. Or you just stop moving, hunker down for the night, and just sit there. Up to you guys.
I'd say that's less dangerous to losing the ship. Because if we just wing it, we're probably going to crash into
And it's going to
something.
be even worse than driving at night. Because at least while driving at night, you can kind of sort of see. But this way, there's a giant fog cloud in your way and you can't see in front of you. You'd be crawling along at like a mile an hour, probably.
I'd rather fight than risk losing the ship.
Yeah, the best that we could do is theoretically just continuously cast from the Staff of Light. But even then, it wouldn't really help us that much. It would give us, 30 feet of sight?
Yeah, in front of you. Which, all things considered, is not a lot.
Yeah,
I think it's 30 feet.
I will simply trust the compass to guide my way.
I mean,
Oh,
it tells you
God.
how to get there. It doesn't necessarily tell you there's a giant gaping chasm in your way.
It'll be fine.
Oh, I didn't actually realize this. As a bonus action on your turn, you can move the Dancing Lights cantrip up to 60 feet away to a new spot.
I forgot to actually add the stipulation that that thing stops charmingly undead after they take damage. I need to do that.
Oh, that's stipulation?
Yeah, because, it's part of the stipulation for turn undead, so it's getting added to the staff because I completely forgot to put that in there.
Makes it a little less powerful.
But also not completely broken.
Yes.
Not that it'd really help occasionally. After all, you just don't attack them and then focus them
Be right
down.
back.
Oh. The driver has gone BRB.
Uh-oh.
And
Oh,
he
God.
And the last I heard from him, he said he wanted to continue. So do I make you guys keep moving?
So our driver has narcolepsy. Got it.
He has narcolepsy. Hold on.
Not Grunt Googling what narcolepsy is.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, how does the robot have narcolepsy? What? So yeah, if he's going to try and continue driving the ship, are you guys going to do anything or?
Oh yeah, I got outvoted.
Okay. It sounded like everyone was voting in favor of, not continuing, except for the one driving, but... I need Stan's phone number. That way I can just call him and tell him to get in here.
I mean, you have mine, I think, right?
Yeah, but you're not Stan. I sent him like 20 messages just now, so we'll see if that gets his attention.
What
Why
happened?
did she send that?
Where?
He's online on his phone.
Why did she send the bears just canoeing?
She's a bear canoeing.
She is, but like, I'm so confused.
Bear.
Bear on the boat. Oops. Panda bear on a ship just rocking out.
I guess while we wait for him to get back, I'm going to use rest. Take this as a rest.
Okay. I guess it's a restroom break. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. You're welcome. What is this?
Guys, I have something to admit. I'm a furry, and
Oh,
this is why I play Warden.
oh, I figured that out. I figured it out. I know what that is now. Right. Grumpy was the one that uploaded that. I forgot.
Just don't end the Xbox.
No lag. I remembered that this was in the server.
What?
Guys, I have something to admit. I'm a
Oh,
furry,
no.
and this is why I play Warden.
I forgot that was in here. I just looked at the soundboard and I was like, what is this thing that's labeled jumpers? Yep. Oh yeah, that was just quack.
What did I miss?
Not much. Everyone decided they needed to pee.
Not much.
Guys, I have something to admit. I'm a furry, and this is why I play Warden.
Oh shit! When did Jumper show up?
I found out that was in here. I opened up the soundboard and was like, I wonder what soundboard things I have right now. Why are you calling me, No Lag?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Nope, I pressed the wrong button. You got hung up on. Okay. I love how that automatically connected my piece or my earpiece to the phone. Oh, you're gonna do it again? Let's find out.
McDonald's Auto Parts, how may I take your order?
Oh, McDonald's Auto Parts. Guess what? I have here in my hands a receipt to an elderly home. I think he muted himself.
No, I'm still here.
Oh. See, now I just have my headset on and then an earpiece inside of my headset. I blame no lag.
I love that, and I hate that at the same time.
You're welcome. It just fell out of my face. Boom. I think he hung up on me, guys. No, there he goes.
Oh, did I?
No. I can hear you now again. That was weird. I don't know why you've called me, but hey. I'm gonna hang up. You're welcome. We had a 1 minute and 9 second call. Okay. Now, Argon, were you actually going to continue sailing the ship? Well, air quotes sailing.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to continue through the night. No long rest for you.
Might as well.
Why is my dad now calling me? Hold on. That one might actually be important.
I mean, technically, all I have to do is stand still for 6 hours. And, you know, I can't really do anything in that 6 hours as I'm standing still. But that's basically what I'm doing. I'm not really going to have to do much with the wheel while it's happening.
Oh, where's my pen?
Never mind. They were just letting me know they're in town. I'm back. Okay, so you guys are going to continue through the night. And
Do we long rest?
if you sleep, yes, you are on board a ship, so you will be able to sleep as long as you are not the one piloting the ship. So,
What if we took turns?
you could do that too. Depends on whether or not Argon gives you the helm. Yep.
I mean, all I got to do is stay 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state. I don't think I'm going to have to need to move the wheel all that much.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, he's not wrong. As long as he doesn't have to turn the ship, he can do a long rest. That's so stupid. I love it.
I hate that.
Oh, that's so dumb. I love it. You know what? On a Spelljammer, it'd be even stupider because you know what? You sit in a chair. You don't even turn a wheel. You sit in a chair.
Also, how many crossbow bolts would you say that I have?
Poor K.
You can always steal off a cable. She's got 200 of them.
Or actually, yeah, is there a stockade of crossbow bolts anywhere on the deck?
There's a small number towards the rear of the ship, on a rack almost, but then under deck there was also a crate full of crossbow bolts. Because, you're on a military ship.
Nice.
During the drive, can I bring some of those crossbow bolts to the front of the ship, and then, while we're driving, just continuously shoot crossbow bolts with the light spell on them?
If you want to, you can.
In the front. Just that entire time, so that if there is ever anything directly in front of us that a crossbow bolt would hit, we would see it.
Okay.
What's the max range on a crossbow bolt?
120, I think.
Crossbow? Yeah.
Yeah, so crossbow
Is it
is
300?
here. Depends on which range. Optimal range is 80, but the max is 320. So
Okay.
your call on that.
Well, it's 320. You just have disadvantage on hitting something. Not that it
Oh, yeah.
missing a target is what you're really concerned about.
Yeah, so I'm just like fucking
You're just yeeting the crossbow bolts, so it's not like the
casually
disadvantage to hit
eating
is
every
matter.
once in a while crossbow bolts into the front of us wherever we're going.
Okay, how long
So
are you
that-
going to do that for? Thing is how you need at least to sleep for 6 hours to get a long rest in.
Is he 6 hours?
Well, it's 8 hours for a long rest, but it's 6
What-
in sleep and then 2, like, not
So what
heavy
time
labor.
is it right now in game?
The night just set, so... Dang, what time of year do I want it to be? We'll say it's spring, so... If you're... You know what, I'm not doing all that calculations. We're just going to say that it's, 7.
Let's
In
just
the
say
evening.
that every hour or so I'll wake up for a few minutes and do that and then go back to sleep.
Okay. I guess.
And meanwhile, I only need 6 hours.
I
thought
don't
you
know
said
how
4.
long I need Dragonborn.
I think Dragonborn are normal. I think.
Ills, I think, are like 4.
Anyway. So, you're just going to cruise along. No lag, I want you to roll a perception check for each hour. You know?
Okay. Let's see here. Oh shit, why am I in character builder? I don't want to be in character builder. When did I open this? Okay,
Because
perception check.
we're just basically going to be like, do you spot rocks and things or other obstacles that Argon would have to avoid every hour that you do this?
Okay, first hour is an 11.
Okay.
Second hour is a 21. This is 8 hours, so 8 rolls.
Yeah.
Then a 25. Then a 21. I need to figure out how many I've done. I've already lost count. An 8.
1,
actually-
2, 3, 4, 5.
It's
So you
5
need
so
3
far.
more.
Okay. And it's perception. I lost again. I got sleepy towards the end.
I wouldn't blame you.
So it's 11, 21, 25, 21, 8, 8, 9, 14.
Okay, so 11, 21. Okay, so the first hour, there's nothing. The second hour, you manage to see a big rock that is like as tall as the ship coming at you.
So the robot's actually awake, right?
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and tell the robot to veer off course. But just take us port a little bit, you know?
So I guess you tell the robot, and he just goes around the rock. And then,
I lightly adjust my arms and such
right?
to
And
avoid
then the next hour, you also see a rock. This
God damn
one,
it.
this one's like a spiky one at like a diagonal angle coming out, and it's gonna like clip your treads or something.
Yeah, we should absolutely avoid that one.
slight turn to avoid the rock.
And
God damn it.
then roll 3. Roll 3. You don't see anything in the way. And then 4. That was the third one, right?
11, 21, 25, 21 is what the fourth one is.
Yeah, the fourth one you don't see anything.
Okay.
And then you don't see anything with the fifth one either, which is, I guess, lucky considering the fact that there was nothing there. And you rolled an 8. However, for the next one, you did not see it, but a rock suddenly looms out of the fog and is like about to smash into the ship. Argon, I need you to make a... Oh, what is it? Is it just a deck save when you try to make a save with the ship?
Land vehicle check.
Is it that? Yeah, just make a deck save, Argon. I think you use the ship's dexterity, but I'm not entirely sure. 17, you managed to avoid the rock that's right there.
Okay.
You're like, what is my lookout doing? The next roll, you don't see anything, which is good. There's nothing there. And then for the last roll, there's also nothing there, but you also were able to see it. So, you know.
I could see the nothingness. Perfect.
Yeah. I rolled percentile to see if a rock was there each and every time.
Oh, there was nothing else that would have appeared? I was wondering if you were rolling on some kind of die table.
No. I should have thought of that. I could have mixed it up being like, there's a chasm right there. But then again, I was like, you know what? Just rocks, you know?
I mean, yeah, with what I would have been doing, I don't think I would have been able to see a chasm.
Right. Yeah, so after 8 hours of you doing that, you guys have managed to go 40 miles total. Unless Argon sped up at some point.
At the last 3 hours, I would have doubled the speed.
Why'd you do that to me? So the last 3 hours is 30. With the first 5 being 5. So that's 45 plus 30, which is 75. You've gone 75 miles. Okay. And that should be everything. What's that? The sun begins to rise. And
First thing anyone hears is speed. I am speed.
that is the rooster of this ship. I am speed.
Oh my god. Just the Fast and Furious theme starts playing.
I like to imagine it's coming from Argon.
Yeah.
Like he's just gone speaker mode and he's just like playing the song.
It's not the Fast and the Furious theme. It is gas, gas, gas.
No, Sonic Underground.
Yeah.
I don't know Sonic Underground. I only know Eurobeat.
Okay, well, as
And
the
that first big rock we did, it was Deja Vu.
Rolling in the 1600s.
So the sun rises while the little hazy light bulb in the sky rises, and you guys are able to see slightly again. The Vale's fart cloud of death doesn't rise up as high this time, though. It doesn't go very high into the sky like it was before. It is now like low-hanging clouds. Like there's just like, you know how you see storm clouds get real low to the ground, I guess.
I'm going to blame Harold for this.
It's Harold's fault. There seems the clouds are heavy today. And,
I mean, you did cast that fog cloud. You have no idea how much of a fog cloud he casted.
You know what? Fair enough.
There's no way of knowing. It could have been his fault. We don't know.
But yeah. So
But
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like most all of you will be able to tell. Unfortunately, Marcus isn't. Or Pearl's character? No, Pearl's character, yes, she can.
oh, do I have a low passive
Ashen-
perception?
Yeah, you do. Ashen's character is really far behind in the stats wise because it's level 2 according to the system, which, isn't correct. But Ashen's character displays a 10, so that's what I've got to go off of. Igor also doesn't see it, so Ashen, Igor, and Marcus aren't able to tell this, but those clouds definitely look like storm clouds. In fact, there appears to be the signature teal green light flashing in there like thunder and lightning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My dad's
what
coming.
a day. What a lovely day.
Yeah, Marcus, Argon, and Ashen are not able to tell there's a storm inbound. Until,
That'll be fun.
you know what? Brother Rock looks at the Igor's character and he's like, those clouds are not looking friendly.
I look up. I look
Make
down.
a perception check now, Argon.
Oh dear.
And since the dwarf has now drawn your attention to it, I'll allow everyone to make a perception check.
Those clouds
Big
look
money.
like clouds to
Big
me.
money. I got it. 8.
Well, then,
I don't believe you.
I got a
lying.
25.
you can tell before! Well, I guess Argon figured it out. Marcus, not so much. Yeah, Argon, you noticed that those storm clouds, or those clouds are definitely storm clouds. In fact, they're getting closer.
Mr. Priest, are you able to protect this ship from necrotic lightning?
He looks at you, looks at the storm clouds, and he's like, the lightning's the least of our problems.
Wait, for me?
Oh, I was asking the dwarf at my feet.
Oh,
The dwarf is right next to him.
So I'm gonna solve it for myself, and cast resistance for lightning on myself.
Okay.
It's gonna be acid, but okay.
Then I'm gonna look at the dwarf. And
Wait. Wait,
how
Is it
bad?
acid?
Necrotic.
Well,
I go below deck. Now that
What-
I've been
what-
pointed out to the storm clouds.
yeah.
wait, what's happening? Like, is it?
Were you not
is it
paying
acid
attention?
cloud? No, I
I
was
said
not.
there's a storm cloud with angry teal green light flashing in there like thunder and lightning, and then the dwarf says, those storm clouds are getting mighty close and don't look friendly. And then Argon asked the cleric if he's able to protect us from necrotic lightning, and he says the lightning is the least of our problems.
I move below deck.
Well, then scratch that on the lightning resistance. Let's put it necrotic resistance, and I'm going to also move below deck. And Harold's already below deck. He has been fucking fervently staring at that piece of paper, just trying to figure out how to use it.
Well, Igor, you got this. Don't melt.
I'm gonna watch
I
this.
believe in you.
Basically, everyone goes below deck and leaving me right there.
I'm gonna
Actually,
physically hide
you know
the people
what?
who went below decks.
Yeah, you know what? Instead of it casting resistance onto me, it's going to be on Igor.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have Keybleed and Ashen, who are too fascinated by the storm clouds to actually heed safety warnings to go below decks. They're gonna come upstairs and sit next to Argon, and apparently to call too.
I'm going to politely request the two AFK people to tie themselves to the ship with ropes, just in case.
Okay, they're gonna.
If I have to, I'll use my chain.
They'll tie themselves to the mast the flagpole back here. That's what the black dot is, by the way. It's the flagpole.
Big flagpole.
Big flagpole. Big sturdy flagpole. Why did I hear Discord notifications. I love how Stan is now no longer online, by the way.
Uh-oh.
He got online on his phone.
He did, and he is no longer online. You know, I would think...
He's now invisible.
Maybe. I was just, expecting him to join after I messaged him so much, but I guess not. Anyway, Argon, what were you doing? Other than asking them to bolt themselves to the ship?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chain I've got in my backpack and chain myself to the boat so I do not move from this wheel.
Okay. I love how you're not... No, I can't. Never mind. Okay, so what are you going to do now after chaining yourself to the ship?
I'm going to continue my course.
Okay.
Make sure I follow my compass. It will not lead me astray. It is leading me to that damn spire.
It is, but it's also leading you straight at the storm.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Tally ho!
Brother Stone looks at you and he's like, "Are you sure you want to go in there?"
Our
He has
quest
the necrotic
lies in
resistance.
this
He'll be
direction.
fine.
What'd you say, Argon?
Our quest is in that direction.
And he's like, "And so is that." And he points at the storm.
We have overcome worse odds.
Him and his brother exchange looks like, is he real right now? And then the cleric, Brother Rock looks at you and he's like, "I don't know what was worse than that, but I would hate to come up against it."
We were 1,000 strong. Now we are less than 10.
I mean, he looks back at the storm. Fair, I guess, but I'd rather not get caught by what's in that storm.
What is in the storm that has you so worried?
The two level 20s look back at you and they're like, dragons.
I'm just gonna give them a manic grin. I need new crafting reagents.
They look at each other and they go, "This is bad."
And this compass has not steered me wrong yet.
You've only had it for a day and a half.
And I would,
It has yet
if anything
to
happened
steer
to it, I would kill everyone in this room and myself.
He's like, "Okay, if we're going through that storm, first the rundown." The dwarfs are like, "Okay, first the rundown. That storm
I am.
does in fact have lightning. It will in fact try to hit you." And he's like, they're giving you the rundown basically. The lightning bolts go after any exposed light source and try to basically eliminate the light source. And then, if that doesn't make matters worse, as soon as you're inside the storm cloud, the veil descends and suddenly you need the light to survive. And then if there's no light, the lightning starts to target anything that moves. Though it lags behind enough that if you move in a turn, it will not hit you. But if you stay still after that, it will hit you. So it's like a one-turn delay sort of thing.
So I'm gonna have my stone guardian go underneath and into the
hold.
hold, and then close the door above it, so it keeps its lantern on.
Yeah.
That
Basically,
way it's
the lights below deck are fine. The lights above deck, however, will just attract the lightning.
I look at the lantern up my hip. I look at the storm. I got this.
And then the brothers are like, "Okay." And then the second thing, there's dragons in that storm. We can't guarantee how many. Basically, they end up telling you a rumor that has been, well, I guess it's more than a rumor now, that was around before the cursed land of this place. Apparently, there used to be a clan of purple dragons that dwelled beneath the surface of this kingdom. Those purple dragons now dwell in that storm.
I wonder what dwells in the sandstorm. And
Oh no. But yeah, those purple dragons have also been twisted by the cursed energy of this place. They are no longer just normal purple dragons. They've been twisted by the Veil's energy to be far more dangerous. That, and they still retain some of the... They're still intelligent creatures. They've just been twisted for a different purpose.
Perspis.
Yeah, apparently my lisp decided that I can't pronounce purpose.
Points. Got it.
Yeah. They have been corrupted and their purpose has been changed. They still retain their familial bonds, though, so you hurt one of them, they all get pissy.
I will think about this for a second.
There's no such thing as purple dragons.
There's no such thing! After he does tell you, though, that there are purple dragons in the storm clouds, I want you to roll an Arcana check for me. See what you know about purple dragons from history.
Jack Engine.
Yeah, you know their scales are purple. Yep.
Can we all roll?
No, we're all downstairs.
Tikal, you can. You are there.
Yeah, I'm here.
You are right there. You can roll, and I think you have
I
advantage.
fucking know.
Okay, then.
I know
Okay.
everything.
Tikal is a master on purple dragons, apparently. And since is it just undead you have advantage on with knowing what they are, or is it every monster?
That's a good question. Let me.
Though, if
Make
it's just undead, it doesn't apply to dragons, but you know.
Fey, fiends, or undead.
Okay, so not dragons. Cool. But yeah, you know purple dragons are a thing. They're incredibly rare, and they're an offshoot breed, or a crossbreed between They're a crossbreed between lightning or / blue dragons and red dragons. Hence purple. They are a crossbreed. They dwell in family clans of like 2 elders that are like the grandparents, and then 2 or 4 adult dragons that have then their kids, which could be any amount of them. So, you know, and they're incredibly attached to their family, and so much so that if you hurt one of them, they will never let go of that grudge. But if you also help them, inversely, they're going to remember that for a while and probably help you when you need it. They also breathe plasma.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. It does a stupid amount of fire damage.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, you also know that tieflings don't get to enjoy their fire resistance when they're blasted by this plasma beam.
Sweet.
You also know that if you look directly at the plasma beam when it's fired, you go blind for some amount of time.
It's just a giant welding ray.
Yes, it is a plasma cutting torch or a plasma welder. Don't look at it.
Nice.
What else would you know with that roll? You know they like to dwell underground, deep below the surface, but not as deep as the Underdark. They still dwell above the Underdark. In caves, they dig out and burrow themselves. What else? You know that their lairs, within 8 miles of them, dark vision does not work, though that's of little concern here inside of the Shadowlands, where dark vision doesn't work anyway.
Right.
So, that's a moot point, I suppose. But, yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that is, like, about them that you would probably know off the top of your head from rumors and stories and things. Get this, they're purple, their scales are purple. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right?
I didn't know that they were purple. That's crazy.
I know, right?
Wouldn't have guessed.
The purple scaled dragons. What color are their scales again?
Right. No, the pink
pink.
dragons are funny. They breathe bubbles.
I.
No, I'm not joking.
Wow.
I'm not joking. Seriously, there is a pink dragon. It breathes bubbles.
Dear God, what do the white dragons breathe?
Ice.
Milk.
Ice and fire,
Milk.
big bubbles.
Apparently.
They breathe milk.
Old chunky
Okay.
milk.
So I'll look at the dwarf and say,
Oh,
Yeah,
What? Oh,
I don't know
okay,
whether or not
those-
I will say I don't know whether or not Bugman to call over here spills all of that information to you.
I'm gonna say purple.
Purple.
I will give it
that's
to
a
logic
lot
here.
of information.
Right.
Don't look at it.
Don't look at it.
I will look at the storm we're going towards. I will sigh and start turning us to the left.
Just go around the storm.
Yes.
Okay. The dwarven brothers look at each other and like, okay, cool. We're going to try and get away from that storm. Hopefully it doesn't chase us. Hopefully it has bigger priorities than us.
As far as I know, we are the only beings here.
Yeah, there's a couple of factions that run around this place. Not exactly friendly to outsiders, though. One of them,
That's a personal problem.
right? One of the factions, they call themselves the Believers. And they're just a bunch of cultists that really like to get souped up on those veil crystals.
Like the crystals I have in my safe.
Yes. You can think of them as druggies if you prefer.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then the other faction is the exact opposite. They'll burn you at the stake if they catch you with those things.
I look at my safe, which is conveniently sitting in the center of the deck. I look at the dwarf. Are you able to do anything with these crystals?
He looks at them and he's like, technically we could. I don't really want to try.
I mean, like, purify or, you know,
Oh,
religiously destroy or sacrifice to the death gods or your lady.
I mean, technically they're indestructible as far as anyone here knows. Well,
If they were indestructible, how could we eat them?
that seems to be the only way you can dispose of them. Hitting it with a hammer, he pulls out his mace, grabs, well, no, he wouldn't have one on him. He's like, "Can I try and show you?"
Yeah, and I lean down and whisper to him the combination to open the safe.
He opens the safe, pulls out one of the crystals, smacks it as hard as he can with the mace, and it just bounces off. You hear a violent ringing sound coming from the crystal.
Wait, no. Why are you going over there?
What?
She made food and she's not giving it to me. My bad.
How dare she? Anyway, he puts it back in the safe and he like locks it back up. He's like, "Yeah, that's basically the synopsis of that. No one's figured out if we can break it somehow other way other than just eating them. So, yeah."
I'm starting to wonder if we just line the edges of the ship with the veil crystal. Would it confuse the storm and think, oh, hey, there's a massive undead here? Okay. We don't have enough crystals for that, though.
That's true. You only have what, 20 of them?
Let me see here.
And they're like softball size.
$23.
23 of them, yeah. But I don't think that's enough to cover the whole inn, but you know,
No, it's you space them out.
right?
Maybe probably get like half the ship.
Yeah. The other thing the dwarves tell you is that the purple dragons, as far as they're aware, are not undead. They're still living creatures. So they're still technically alive, and they've just been corrupted.
I do not have a big enough gun for this.
They look at the mage cannons, they're like, Well, I mean, we'd probably scare them off with those things. If there's one.
I highly doubt these will come in just one.
It would also get significantly worse, says Brother Stone, if the ancient ones showed up. After all, they have 2 elders, at the very minimum.
I'm going to sigh and continue steering us away from the storm. Looking sad at my compass.
So you guys end up spending the next, half a day trying to get around this storm, air quotes. By the end of the day, the storm is behind you. You've basically just got to turn back north, or south, I guess, technically, depending on which way you went. Did you go left or right?
I went left, which I think would take us on northern heading.
Let me double check. World map. Because if I remember correctly... Yeah, so you guys were, right in here. So if you went left, you'd actually need to go east to get to the spire. So the compass ends up pointing east, actually. Yeah. Yeah, so.
I continue going straight ahead.
The only issue you can see, the only issue is that one of the cleric dwarf, Brother Rock, ends up looking at the storm, he's been watching it the whole time, and he's like, okay, we have a problem. It's following us.
I'm going to look at the storm. I'm just going to quietly raise a middle finger to it. Continue on my way.
Okay, I now need to calculate something real fast. Basically, the chasing speed of the storm compared with your speed. I need to see if you can outrun it.
This would be a perfect time for those boost mechanics.
Right?
That would be great.
I mean, we can jury rig something, I'm assuming. Right? Okay, so, calculations. So if I take this number, multiply it by 10, so 52,800 is how many feet your ship moves per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yes. So, in theory, something chasing you would have to go that fast per hour, right?
Just to keep pace with us. You have
Yes.
to go more than that to start gaining.
So if we divide that number by 60, we get per minute. And then divide it by 60 again, and you get seconds. But working with hour might just be easier. Right? Because the ship's already in hour.
So 880 feet per minute.
Yeah. Uh, 10. That's what it is. Right, a round is 6 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I multiply by 10, we get 60 seconds.
Mhm.
Okay. So then if I multiply that number by 60, we'll get per hour. Or minute, not hour.
So that's, 600 rounds per hour?
Ooh. I think this thing can outrun you by a lot. Yeah, your ship maxes out at 10 miles, so 52,800 feet per hour. And if I've done my calculations correctly, this thing has 3,600,000 feet per hour.
The dragon?
Yeah. Because it's 100 feet per 6 seconds, right? If it's flying.
Flying speed?
Yeah, the flying speed is 100. So you multiply that by 10, get this per... No, wait, I think I did too many seconds there. Because if that's per 6 seconds, multiply it by 10, you get 60 seconds. Multiply that by 60, you get an hour. So it's only 60,000. So I went a little bit too far, but it is outpacing you. So yeah, as the day wears on, you do notice the storm is starting to catch up.
Okay, so it's going at roughly 11.37 miles per hour.
Effectively.
How far behind us would it be when we start noticing? Hey, I can tell you guys.
Let's see. If I go back to the map... Why do I have... Whatever. Let's see. So... You guys would have noticed it while it was off in the horizon, so... I don't know. How far can people see normally on a clear day?
A long,
That's what I'm like.
long ways away.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think. How far away would that be?
The horizon?
Yeah.
How tall? How high do you think we are if someone would go like on deck? How high is the deck?
The deck is 10 feet off the ground.
So then my character is 6 feet, so 16 feet. So you can look. The horizon technically would be about 5 miles away. Is how far you could see.
So then if you ended up going up...
But they're flying, so you can see
Yeah,
them
you could see them...
above. So that
We'll
turns
say
into
100
calculation
miles.
where
You know what? Just screw it. 100 miles. That's a nice round number.
I mean, you can do the math. Hold on, let me get my
Oh, yeah.
like a pad and
Not a
pencil. I
clear
mean, I
day
have to do this
perfectly
math all
speaking.
the time at work. I just have things for it already, like Excel sheets, tools
Right.
that we've already built.
Okay. So, quick
And
research. On a clear day, we can potentially see clouds from over 100 miles away.
Oh, they're in the clouds though. They wouldn't be that high. Would they?
Well, if you can see clouds from 100 miles away...
We probably couldn't see the dragons within, but we can see the clouds.
Or are,
Yeah.
are the dragons at the same height as regular clouds, or are they closer to the ground? 'Cause
It's
clouds
more
are
like
a
storm
lot
clouds.
higher in the air than you think they are. So are storm clouds.
But,
Storm clouds are like 2,000 feet in the air.
yeah, they're really high up there, so...
Like 20,000, sorry. They're really, really up there.
But yeah, so the storm is, we'll just say, like 100 miles behind the ship when it, like, starts gaining on you.
So how fast do they gain on us?
Let's see.
Over 11 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're going about 11 miles an hour, so they're going about 1 mile an hour faster than you.
Oh,
At the moment, we got a couple days.
Just a couple.
That is until they start, doing some funny shenanigans. Let's see, if we double it for the thing dashing, ooh, 227? Really? That seems really high. Oh no, I've got an extra 0. 22. Oh, if we round up, 28.
I'm surprised. Oh no, 80. Would they be going as fast as the wormlings flying, or would they be going as fast as the fastest flying?
So specifically, the storm is traveling at 28 miles per hour right now. If I'm doing my math right. Which it looks like I am. Because it's 60,000, double that, you get 1,200, or 120, I should say, thousand. Which translates to 22.7. Round that up, it's 28.
Feet per second. There's 6 seconds per sim, right?
Yeah. 6 seconds per round, if I'm not mistaken. Because 1 minute is 10 rounds, so...
So you said it's moving 28 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So they're moving 246 feet per round.
246 sounds wrong.
If they're going 28 miles an hour, they're going 246.
Where did I...
That's all I was
see
asking
this?
you. Which speed are you using? Because
I'm using
or
100
like-
feet for this storm per round. So multiply the 100 by 10. You get 1,000.
100 by
So 1,000...
6.
Oops.
So
you get
600.
1,000 multiply 1,000 because that's 1 minute's worth, and then multiply by 60 to get an hour, and you get 60,000.
A minute. So they're moving 1,000 feet per minute
Yeah,
times 60 equals hour.
yeah, which you end up with 60,000.
Yes.
And then if it's dashing, you double that.
True.
Then you end
Times
up
2,
with
so 1,200
yeah,
feet
well,
per
one-
hour.
120,000 feet per
Yeah,
hour.
120 feet per hour.
Which in this miles or feet to miles calculation transformy thingy I found on Google, it's giving me
And it.
22.7 miles per hour. Oops.
Well, they like feet per second. They don't like feet per hour. That's the issue.
Uh,
So that it might be confusing that.
I mean, it's just
So-
the numerical values that I'm converting.
1 mile per hour is 1.46 feet a second. So I'm gonna go back to when we were seconds. So that is.
I mean, yeah, that works. Or that
Minute.
works, I should say. Either way, yeah, you're getting chased by a storm.
100, 6 seconds divided by 6, 16 feet a second. Times 1 point. They move 24.5 miles per hour.
24. Which is higher than the number I have.
What number did you have?
22.7.
You said 28.
Did I say 28?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
interesting.
asked like twice. Are you sure it's 28?
No, it's 22.7. That's what I got, so. I rounded up and ended up saying 28 instead of 23 because I was thinking 7. I see what happened. Okay. So it's approaching on you at, I guess, Shaz's number, 24 miles per hour, which means it's gaining on you with a 14 mile an hour thing. Lead? Closing distance?
They were 100 miles away.
Yeah.
Fuck, there's math. Oh, because it's not. I'm gonna have to do that math in my head.
I could do that math. I don't want to do that math. Although, I guess technically it'd be really easy. It's just 100 divided by 14, which is 7.1. Or if we round up 7, or round the number to a whole number, it's 7 hours.
It's d over v2 minus v1. It's to get the time, so the distance they're traveling, and you can. Yeah, sorry.
I think it would be 7 hours,
an-
roughly.
About 45 minutes is how long it would take for them to catch up.
Dang. My number is so wrong. But,
Yeah.
hey. So, the storm's about to catch you guys, apparently.
Oh
In
no.
45 minutes, yeah.
In about an hour. The dwarves look at each other and they're like, well, crud. It starts giving dwarven profanity.
Oh, no, I lied. That was with them being 10. Add another 0. So 426 minutes.
Which would be roughly
4, 2, 6.
7
5,
hours?
5,
Yeah,
60,
roughly 7 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So I was right. It was roughly 7. So yeah, about 7 hours away. Until it catches up to you.
Do not worry. We have several days to go. We will be fine.
I don't think that math computes.
My time scale
Oh yeah!
time is error, just fine.
Right.
That storm is several days away. And then just continue.
The dwarves look at each other like, huh?
Break this fire.
The dwarves are like, what? That thing's like 7 hours from us. You know, I would like to just use, like, in lore, it's like, we'll pretend like it was just, what's his name? Ashen. He did the mathematical calculations and figured out how soon the things are going to catch us because he's the, library nerd guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what we're
Yeah,
going to go with.
that's the lore.
That's the lore. Ashen did all of the calculations. And the doors are like, we gotta find, like, someplace to hunker down.
If you have any
We have to
ideas,
hide.
I am all gears.
They're like, they, like, pull out a map. I don't know. They're looking at this map, and they're like, we might be able to get to this location. He points to a little ridge line, I guess. It's about northeast of you by, about 6 miles away. Or not 6 miles. 6 hours away. I was still stuck in miles.
That's why you gotta switch everything to kilometers. It's so much easier.
Right?
Ah. Miles makes more sense. So I will turn the ship towards where they're indicating.
And they're like, this is a long shot, but we could technically... Well, he's like, it depends on whether or not it's overrun, I suppose. It used to be a safe haven, I suppose, for lack of a better word, that our order had. We got run out of there a few months back. Depends on whether or not the undead have cleared out.
We will figure that out when we get there.
Even more reason to go over there. If there's undead, we can get rid of them.
He's got a point.
There might
That's
even
true.
be loot there.
And he's like, well, half the problem was, I say the undead have cleared out. They weren't run out by the undead. They got run out by those believers, air quotes.
So we might have some intact loot when we get there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, we were run out by the believers. Whether or not the bodies, which would have turned into the monstrous undead, have cleared out, and whether or not the cultists ended up sticking around. If they have stuck around, you could just clear them out, right? Either that or strike up a deal and get inside, you know? But we have been running for 2 hours. I wanted to do a slightly shorter session today, and that sounds about right for me. What about you guys?
5
thanks,
hours
Fred.
before we die.
Gotcha.
Yeah, basically. You're either going to get out to that place and be able to be safe, or you won't. It's entirely dependent on different circumstances. Plus, you guys have mage cannons. Whoever's inside of that hole doesn't.
True.
Oh yeah, the dwarves do mention the fact that it's an underground base because that's the only real way to stay safe from those storms. As you just go underground, seal off the entrance with like a door or something, and then you're fine.
Yeah, I got it.
What?
Yeah. All right. So is that the session for today?
I think so.
Mhm.
R.I.P.
Sounds good to me.
Oh yeah, she was on vacation somewhere.